He's an eminent politician, a social reformer, and a symbol of the ambitions of his millions of followers. And in the last few years in particular, having served as governor of Kano State for 2 terms, as well as defense minister, senator, and most recently presidential candidate of his NNPP party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has lately turned his attention to fighting for equality and educational reforms. During his time as governor, he built schools and invested in teachers, though the UN says the state he governed, Kano, still has one of the highest numbers of out-of-school children in Nigeria. But recently he's faced corruption allegations, which he denies, saying they are politically motivated. And he's been locked in an epic battle with his political godson, Abdullahi Ganduje, who succeeded him as governor of Kano State. Today, even though both are now former governors, the political score settling continues, manifesting most recently in the royal feud that's erupted inside the Emirate of Kano, a feud that, as one analyst put it, threatens not just to clip the wings of its revered emirs, who've held positions of significant influence for more than 1,000 years, but possibly remove their entire royal plumage. But now, with Dr. Kwankwaso back in political control of Kano, with his party, the NNPP, running the state, he seems to have gained the upper hand in that vigorous scuffle for supremacy, for now. Well, for more on all this, I'm suitably delighted to say that the presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, joins me now in the studio. Very honored to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed for coming in. And congratulations. I understand you've got a new logo and it captures your values for Nigeria's development, and the image on it is an educational one, and the idea is that without education and knowledge, you can't build a viable society.
Thank you very much, Charles, for having me. And let me start by thanking Almighty God for giving us this opportunity, especially today, the 12th of July, 2024. Today, we were able to launch our amended constitution, our colors, our logo, and our flag, which we believe is the best for the party. And I'm sure our supporters across the country will be very happy. You see, everybody knows that we joined this party just before election, 2023 election. And the logo then was a basket of fruits, and we didn't know that we had some issues until during the election, and all of us went to the polls believing that we could identify our logo. Unfortunately, even I could not easily identify the logo, and that created a lot of problems for our voters across the country. In fact, I'm aware that so many of our gubernatorial candidates went to court, and many of them settled out of court. And many people thought we would go to court also at national level, but we decided not to. And meeting between our party leadership and leadership of INEC, they resolved that it was necessary for us to change that logo because of difficulty in color separation. And that was how it started. At the end of the day, the party sat down, of course, in consultation with us, and came up with a brand new logo, which we believe will satisfy all our requirements, both during the campaigns and, of course, during the election. So today we are able to launch it. And our supporters came from across the country and even beyond to witness the occasion. And we are so happy about it. And we'll continue to strengthen the party to ensure our success in 2027 election.
Well, as I said, congratulations. And is that sense of national renewal through merit-based education? Because I know you've been very big on education. Is that manifesting in Kano, the state that your party now controls? If so, how so?
Yes, the logo, as we have seen, is red. It's a circular logo. We have red at the top, red at the bottom. At the center, we have white. And right inside the white, we have a book. And by the side is written education for all. And of course, on top of it, we have an academic or graduation cap. Well, the idea of putting education is certainly to reflect our beliefs in NNPP, in Kwankwaso, in our governments that we participated, and so on and so forth. And we believe education is key. And for us, if you ask us of a priority, number 1, 2, and 3 are all education. At the center, as you can see, we have the white, which is peace. We believe there must be peace for progress, there must be peace for agriculture, and there must be peace even for education itself. The red symbolizes the struggle over the years, right from the days of our leader, late Malam Kano. We believe in supporting the masses. We are very lucky we had opportunity, especially during this dispensation, where I was governor for 8 years. Now we have another opportunity. We have government in Kano, and we are paying a lot of attention to education. In fact, just recently, the state governor was able to launch a program that will ensure that every child will have an opportunity to go to school, right from primary to secondary, even to tertiary education. So they are building so many schools, so many classes, so many offices, and all other facilities. They are employing many teachers to ensure that every child was able to go to school. And let me tell you that during our time, before I left Kano in 2015, there was no child, as far as we knew, that was not given an opportunity to go to school. We had a law, and it's still there, that no child will be on the streets begging. We have done that. We were able to achieve it. We built enough schools. We had enough teachers, and so on. Unfortunately, when we left, of course, there were issues. Maybe that's the one you are trying to address.
Right.
So that's our logo. And at the end of the day, we are now very much determined to ensure that we have more Nigerians at all levels joining the party to ensure that we succeed 2027.
Right. And talking about the party, the NNPP, I mean, there was a lot of talk recently about divisions within the party. I mean, have you managed to unite the party? You know, one faction claimed at one point that you had been suspended from the NNPP. I think even at one stage they said you had been fired.
Yes. Well, you know, in politics you always have one disagreement or the other. I'm sure I remember that we have some few leaders in the party who, to us, simply did not understand. We have no grudges against anybody. We are not fighting anybody. And I'm sure I remember, it's difficult to, you remembering when I came here or elsewhere to mention any other person. We are working across the country. We are trying as much as possible to bring in everybody. But now that we have, I won't say exactly a new party because it's still an NNPP, but we have brand new colors, constitution, logo, flags, and so on. And I believe that will strengthen the party. And
so you renewed the party, basically?
Completely, right. Completely. So we are expecting everybody to join hands with us. We are not interested in fighting. Life is too short to start a unnecessary fight. Nobody owns this party. I don't own NNPP. You don't own it. Nobody owns it. It's for the people. And like we joined some couple of years ago, people are free to join. And we'll be very happy to have everybody on board.
But, I mean, you talk about fighting beyond the NNPP. There is a deep rift between yourself and the former governor, now chairman of APC, Abdullahi Ganduje. That rift appears to be tearing at the heart of governance in Kano and manifesting itself in the emirate and, you know, who the emir is, you know, and all kinds of legal battles taking place over that. I mean, where does that stand at the moment?
Well, I'm sure you know I'm not the governor of Kano. I'm just the national leader of the New Nigeria People's Party. And as a matter of principle, I don't have enemy. I don't believe that I have anybody to fight, especially in politics of Kano. The person you mentioned was my deputy governor in 1999-2003, and my special advisor in the Ministry of Defense. And when Eradua came in 2007, I lobbied and got a job for him in Chad Basin. And he was there when I got ticket in 2011. And invited him to come back and be my deputy again. And when I finished, I decided, together with other leaders in Kano, to hand over the mantle of leadership to him free of charge. Now, once that happens, everybody is free to do whatever he or she wants to do. But I successfully completed my assignment in Kano, and of course I left, and whatever happened in Kano is now history. And of course, after that, I came back to PDP. There was election in 2019. Everybody knew who won. We won that election. And of course, 2023, there was another election. No councillor, no state assembly, no chairman, no state government, no federal government. Still, the good people of Kano came out and voted for NNPP. And by the grace of God, despite all the odds, now NNPP controls the state government. So I'm happy to say that I'm so happy with the good people of Kano. I'm so happy with myself. We are moving forward, and we have no reason whatsoever to fight anybody.
But I mean, you're saying you have no reason, but clearly there is a war going on. I mean, it's clear to everyone. And I understand your statesmanship and trying to say that, you know, we're trying to sort of calm things down. But I mean, there is a war, and people are curious to know, and especially if you've got designs on being a leader of this country. People are keen to know what is at the heart of this war between yourself and Mr. Ganduje. I mean, you know, as you said, he owes his political ascendancy to you. He served as your deputy governor for 8 years and succeeded after your second term in a country where it is rare for deputy governors to succeed governors. I mean, what is at the heart of this conflict between you and him?
Well, I am not sure really if it's necessary to discuss all that, because what happened in Kano is almost common to almost all the states. It's difficult to remember any state that former governor and of course the sitting governor in peace. It's very difficult to remember, but ours may be a little bit different because we have been together for a very long time. Maybe it's a Nigerian factor, it's everywhere.
Well, did you try to influence
That
him,
was why
example,
most people would not want to hand over to their deputy governors.
Right.
And that's where we are.
Right, but did you maybe try to influence him and he decided to assert his independence, which is what tends to happen, I mean, between godfathers and godsons, political godfathers and godsons?
Well, what I know is that there were issues, and we decided to join another party, and successfully were able to have state government in 2019, which our party was being denied. Now we tried again in 2023, just to show where the leadership belongs. And I'm happy to say that everybody now would know where the leadership really is.
And as a result of that leadership returning to you and your party, is that why the reinstatement of Lamido Sanusi took on a more personal note? I mean, it became something that some people have suggested was like a personal vendetta against Mr. Ganduje.
No, I think that was mainly because it was a campaign issue. Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, that's Sanusi II, was installed by our administration in 2014. Along the line, when my deputy governor, the then governor, in his own wisdom, decided that he would divide Kano into 5. And many people may not remember that was being tried earlier on by Abubakar Rimi administration during the PRP days. And it was our position, it was in our beliefs that Kano should continue in terms of traditional institution to be one solid institution. That was what we believed in. So during the campaign, the governor went around to tell the people in the state that if he is voted, Kano will be one solid traditional institution, of course with the support of all these new emirates that the governor decided to create. And that was why when he was sworn in fact, Sabo Bakinzo, I remember, of our blessed memory, he announced the dissolution of those emirates right at race course where he was sworn in as governor. But this one took over a year or so, almost 1 year. And consultations were made, and they decided to follow due process through the State Assembly. And after that, he signed, and of course, the emir was reinstated. So it was not like something coming from the blues. It was a campaign issue. People voted for him for many obvious reasons, including making Kano one strong emirate. And I can tell you, ours is not, we are not just coming from the streets. We have history over the years, right from the First Republic, where our leaders, Kano and so on, were leading the group, up to our position, our situation now. So it's our belief. It's not something that we just wake up one day and say, yes, it's going to be one. And as long as we are there in the field, that will be our position. And I can tell you, we are not fools. That's the position of majority of people of Kano State. We have done what is right. But, and even the other 5 or 4, let me say 4, of the Emirates emirs have accepted, have moved out from their palaces and so on. Even the one now, Adebayo, right. We respect him. He's a good man as far as I'm concerned. Nothing against him. But the fact of the matter is he accepted. But some people here decided to literally force him to go back to Kano to face unnecessary embarrassment. Everybody knows in this country, you don't have to be a lawyer to know that chieftaincy affairs are purely the responsibility of the state government. And for many obvious reasons, some of them you mentioned, they just wanted to create trouble in Kano. And everybody knows from where it is coming. And I believe that one day they will wake up and rethink and do the right thing. If you are a leader, you don't allow fire somewhere burning, somewhere, and you are sleeping or you are traveling.
Right.
So I believe the government did the right thing because that is what they campaigned for, and that is exactly what they did. But if other forces decided to induce crisis, because what is happening now It may look like a small crisis, but only God knows where it will end.
Well,
of course,
that's why people are concerned.
We are concerned also.
And that's why they say that you are you're the one who brought, the other side into, politics and governance. You're the senior politician. In many ways, you're the godfather that brought him in. I mean, shouldn't you, for the sake of Kano and its people and peace, extend that hand publicly so that everyone knows that this is a gesture that you're making, and if it is then rejected, nobody can hold it against you?
What sort of gesture?
Well, a gesture of peace, a gesture of
peace
reaching
in Kano.
across.
Only that people are trying to create artificial crisis. You, under normal circumstances, leaders should not put their fingers there. Everybody has got his own version of responsibility. And once you go to the outside the bracket of that responsibility, then it becomes a huge problem.
But I understand that your protege, Governor Abba Yusuf, who is the current governor of Kano State, has been targeting buildings allegedly owned by Mr. Ganduje and his associates and demolishing them. Is that a fact? That's obviously bound to be provocative.
Now, let me tell you, and through you tell the people of Kano, and even Nigerians in general, it is in our belief that as long as we are in politics, as long as we are alive, we will never allow anybody to go and build in schools, to go and build in hospitals, in other government places. I don't think anybody will be happy, even in your state, for a governor to go and carve out part of university and give it to people to put malls. And that is another campaign issue that we had. Up till now, I believe the governor did not demolish any one plot that was being given by the governor. And I'm aware that he gave hundreds of thousands of plots in his 8 years in government. Where he went and demolished, understandably to us, was, for example, Kano University of Science and Technology campus in the city. Audu Bako built it as a hotel. I converted it to a faculty. And at the end of the day, they demolished, and he built a mall there. That mall has been demolished, and we have no apology. We have what we call a mosque, which was built hundreds, if not thousands of years in Kano. And majority of it was being sold out, and buildings were put there. And it was also a campaign issue, and that was being demolished. And even Polytechnic, Kano Polytechnic, there were buildings, right inside the campus. Buildings were being made there, and that was being demolished also, and so on and so forth. Only those places. The issue of other things, I think there is Commission of Inquiry which is looking at that.
Okay, well, let's let that rest for the moment, and let's look forward. Are you looking towards 2027, and do you intend to run for president again, or would you be prepared to throw your considerable political weight and support behind someone else in that race?
Now, you see, as somebody who has been in the system for some time now, even though you mentioned some of the things that positions that are held, many people forgot that in 1992 I was Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps here in Abuja during the days of SDP and
IBB.
and NRC. During the IBB, many people forgot I was in the civil service of Kano for 17 years before I left and joined politics. Many people didn't even know that I was an elected delegate to the Constitutional Conference of 1994-1995. Now, based on all these experiences, what we tell people, and that's what we practice, is that if you're going into politics, go there as a politician, not a contestant. If you go there, you contest the election. When you are being selected or elected by the people in your party. So what we always tell people, join the party as a politician. As you are moving, time will come when people will sit down and decide. So ours were on that track. But let me say that NNPP is open to everybody to join. We are open to discussions with even other parties and so on. Even though that has not been started, we are yet to start discussing with anybody. But we are flexible. We want to talk to people because that is the only way one can easily
I understand that.
And so one thing I want to add is when we were in PDP, I was governor 2011 and 2015. In 2014, we found PDP very uncomfortable. And we came together with other forces, 5 of us, and formed the APC. And we did our best. And people even forgot our contribution to the national politics under the APC that we helped to form. I'm sure at that time, you remember, we brought about 2 million votes from Kano. And you mentioned my contest in 2019. You forgot that I contested also with Buhari, Atiku, and Rogers, and so on. And I came second. I think that is important for everybody to remember. It's now history, but it's part of it. So I can't tell you anything. I am a politician. We are building the party. And when time comes, we'll sit down as a party, whichever party, and we decide on what to do.
Right. So there have been, merger talks taking place? Because, you hinted at the fact that you'd be prepared to sort of talk to other people. Are there merger talks taking place between the NNPP and other opposition parties? What is that political landscape looking like at the moment?
I think for now we are concentrating on building the NNPP. We are opening our offices, we are sending our party leaders to go around to ensure that everything is on track. While we are doing that, especially waiting for what we have done today, that is behind us now. Now we have gotten the right constitution, the right logo, the right flag. Now we'll move forward and start talking to people, those who are interested. And I'm happy to say that the logo now, the new logo, does not affect election in Edo State. They will still use the old, because the time I think they have printed the ballot papers or something. So we will use the old one. But the new one will be used during the Ondo election. And even Kano will use the old one because I think the INEC is ready with the old logo.
Right.
So that's where we are.
Okay. I want to thank you very much indeed, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso. We're deeply grateful to you for taking the time to come and talk to us and share your insights into some of these very important developments around Kano and beyond. Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso was the 2023 presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, and he is the national leader of the NNPP. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lovely to see you again.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.